of the show, and welcome to it. If you're just joining us on KFYI, welcome aboard, Nearly Famous Barry Young Show. John McCain is with us this morning on the program, and he's going to stay with us up until the break, about close to 20 after, about 18 after the hour.
There's so many things going on that we need to discuss.
Yeah, and I, we're talking about this North Korean thing. I just hope we're all in one piece for you to come back again, that the North Koreans don't light one of these. They're all worried about global warming. How much heat will it put out if the North Koreans light one of these things on? That's a rhetorical.
Certainly will warm up.
Well, I'm not going to test you on nuclear yield today.
But again, it's a dictatorship that is so bizarre and Orwellian, it's beyond our comprehension. So anybody who says that we can predict their behavior, our predictions have been wrong consistently. So now you put nuclear weapons and a missile to deliver it in the hands of these people. I mean, this is a great threat.
I got to ask you about another story here. Then we're going to get in a couple more calls before you have to leave. Washington Post this morning. Here's the headline. Once considered unthinkable, United States takes a fresh look at VAT, value-added national sales tax. And this goes along with the story in USA Today that the federal tax revenue, the money going into the Treasury, is down 34% compared to a year ago.
So the answer is raise taxes.
Right?
That's the answer. Now I get it. Oh, good.
Yeah,
great.
There you go.
What an idea! Look,
we need to
simplify. We need to simplify the tax code. You know that. I mean, it probably is 3 feet high or more now, and it's complex and it's full of special deals for special interests. But the point is that we need to simplify the tax code. We need to be able to have people even do their taxes online without any paperwork. We ought to have that kind of a tax code.
I think the Treasurer did that. The United States Chairman, Secretary of the Treasury, didn't he do it online? Mistake. I want his TurboTax.
And I believe that tax simplification is of the highest priority because people no longer have any confidence, and we spend, I've forgotten how many $100 billion a year, people just having their tax returns prepared. But if we're going to have a radical move like a value-added tax, consumption tax, et cetera, let's have a great national debate. Flat tax versus value-added versus, let's have a great national debate before we embark on something which, as in some cases, in the European cases, it has not worked out nearly in the way that people had hoped. But if there's anybody who's not for simplifying the tax code, please call immediately.
Yeah, let us know. All right. Yeah. You want to take some more phone calls on that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, KFYI and Senator John McCain. Here's Eddie in Cave Creek on KFYI. Eddie, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Barry, and thank you for having the Senator on for us. First of all, Senator, I'd like to thank you. I wrote a letter to the immigration office after trying for several years to become a citizen. I qualified for being married to an American. I qualified for being in the country legally with a green card for more than 7 years. And then I also qualified because I was a veteran. And it was only after I sent a letter and CCing your office that all the red tape cleared and I became a citizen. So I wanted to first thank you for that.
Well, congratulations, and thank you for your pursuit of legal citizenship in this country.
Then I got a question for you. Do you agree that the illegal population of inmates in the United States is a problem that can be solved potentially by kicking them all out of the country?
I think you might find a solution in that respect. I would point out that, for example, one of the things that we are helping the Mexican government with is taking Mexican cartels leaders, as we did Colombian cartel leaders, and putting them in prison in the United States for violating American laws as well as theirs. And so instead of living in a prison in Mexico or Colombia where basically they have all the amenities and luxuries of a hotel, we are using that tool to punish and help bring down these cartels that are threatening the security of our borders, the violence on our borders, et cetera. So it's one of the tools that we have been using, incarcerating them in prison in the United States through extradition. And the Mexicans have just started that, and it's bound to have a beneficial effect. You see my point there, Eddie?
So you have to use the prisons in some way.
Yeah.
With the illegal alien issue, Eddie. You there?
I am, and I understand that you're doing that with high-profile
right.
cartel people. But how about the three strike you're out loser that beats his wife or drunk drives? You've got got California that's housing three-quarters of the inmate population as illegal aliens, costing that state $45,000 per year to give them health care, medical. They get college educations, and at the same time, they've got their network of illegal activity going on within the jails. Why don't we get rid of those people? Pay somebody like in Mexico, or pay somebody like South Korea or Afghanistan, and pay them instead of $45,000 per year per inmate. Outsource that for $10,000 a year per inmate.
Well, I think it's something that's worthy of consideration, and I see your fundamental point. But I also think that one of the things that we have to guarantee the victims' families is, and the victims, that justice will be meted out to people that commit crimes, and we have to be sure that incarceration is not something like they enjoy in some countries if they have enough funds to enjoy a very luxuriant life, that they have to pay. There are payments that have to be made for crimes committed in the United States against American citizens. So you'd have to talk to I think we'd have to talk to some of the victims' families, particularly in the case of murder, whether we can be sure that justice is done.
All right, Eddie.
Thank you, Eddie.
Thanks for the call. Here's John in Mesa, Senator John McCain. Go ahead, John.
Thank you, Barry. Thank you, Senator, for the opportunity to talk. Senator, I wanted to ask if you were going to support the cap-and-trade legislation that's being talked about in Washington with the Obama administration. I know that you and Senator Lieberman had put a cap-and-trade bill in the hopper a couple of years ago, and isn't this detrimental to America?
Well, there's a vast difference between what Senator Lieberman and I had proposed and what the administration is proposing, which is cap and tax. They just want to tax everybody, and this is not a cap and trade system such as worked in the case of acid rain. So, no, I've not only not supported it, I have vociferously opposed it. In the president's budget, it's $600 billion in added, quote, revenues. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, which, according to substantial scientific opinion, is a danger to our globe. So I'm not only not supporting it, I am vociferously opposed to it. The bill that came out of the House, or is in the House of Representatives, 932, with all kinds of special deals for special interests. So no, I think we need to address the issue of global warming, of climate change. I do believe that it's something which is good for future generations. This proposal is cap and tax.
The president made it really clear what he was planning to do with the State of the Union. He said he wants to make wind and solar energy the cheap kind of energy, but it's expensive to do, and you can only make it the cheap kind of energy if you make our coal-fired power plants or petroleum-based power plants, if you make them expensive.
I hope sometime we can spend a little more time, Barry, because nuclear power, which the administration has rejected, either storage, they're going to close Yucca Mountain, or recycling of spent nuclear fuel. You cannot have nuclear power unless you have that. The best estimates are that solar will provide 5% of our renewable energy requirements between now and 2050, wind around 10 to 15%. What fills in the gap? Nuclear power. Nuclear power is safe. We've proved it here in the state of Arizona at Palo Verde, and it's outrageous that the administration talks about renewables and alternate fuels and all that, and yet they are killing nuclear power, which is vital if we are going to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and, more importantly, eliminate our dependence on foreign oil.
What is their argument? Is it that it's too dangerous? Are they still
too
stuck
dangerous that Yucca Mountain will only be good for 10,000 years instead of 20,000 years?
Okay.
That is, but yeah, I visited a facility in Japan where they reprocess spent nuclear fuel. The French, 80% of their electricity is generated by nuclear power.
Yeah, if it's dangerous, the French should all be dead. They should have been dead a long time ago if it's dangerous. No. We're going to get one other call in.
Sure.
Senator John McCain. Here's Logan in Chandler in KFYI. Logan.
Hi, Barry. Thanks for coming on with us today, Senator.
Hey, Logan.
Hey, pretty much it boils down to all our hopes are resting on 2010, when we can possibly cut the legs out from underneath of President Obama by putting more Republicans in the Congress and maybe taking some of the support away. I don't know how this is going to happen if he continues to push for the immediate legalization of the 12 to 20 million illegals we have here now.
I have not heard that there's been no proposal from the administration.
They were discussing it on the radio not too long ago that he was requesting a proposal for the legalization of the illegals that were here.
There's been no proposal,
no,
Logan.
not as citizens, sir, not to vote.
There's no proposal, Logan. But anyway, go ahead. But my point is. My point is we have to secure the borders, Logan, and there's violence on the border. We had a hearing here before. We have to get our border secure. Then we have to address, and we have to have a temporary worker program, in my view. The unions have now come out solidly against a temporary worker program. I will not support any program besides securing the border that does not have a temporary worker program. Thanks a lot, Logan, for the call.
Appreciate you getting on. Hey, John, thank you for coming on. I know you're off to other meetings and other things today. Thanks. Always good to see you again.
It's always good to be on, and Michelle, the brains of the outfit, continues to keep you under control.
That's exactly right. And no one will sit in that chair until you get back.
Thanks,
Senator John McCain, KFYI, folks.
The only Phoenix station delivering Fox News. This is the Valley's talk station. News Talk 550 KFYI. KFYI.com.